canals.
Hi everyone, it's Sonia here. Well, a lot of people had asked me for updates about my experiences with getting my teeth done in Mexico and also with my oil pulling that I had made some videos about before. So I'm just here to give you guys an update. I'm going to give you like the whole story. So before I start, I just want to remind you, please like me on Facebook. Thanks for subbing to my backup channel, Truther Girls TV. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon, which keeps my channel going. And also, I still have the special available for the odor eliminating pouches, which remove viruses, bacteria, fungus, and mold from the air. And also the odor eliminating tabs used for making a cleaning solution. And it is still 15% off and no shipping and handling for a 3-pack of pouches. So if you're interested, please click the link below for more info. Okay, so a few years ago I was having a lot of trouble with my teeth. I was advised actually to root canal several of my teeth. And where to even start? Long story short, I didn't actually get any root canals. It turned out that I really didn't actually need them. They almost did one tooth, and that tooth didn't need a root canal. It was just like they were thinking, well, you're going to need one down the road, so let's do it now. But you know, it's been like 5 years. So I figure, even if I'm just postponing the inevitable, that's 5 years that I don't have a root canal tooth in my mouth. And as for the others, like they just had some fillings done. They didn't need root canals, I mean, at all. You know, there was actually no decay in the root. So 2 things. One, I went and got some dental work done in Mexico twice. And also I have been using oil pulling, still using it to clean my teeth. And at times I've also used it to help me deal with tooth pain. I'll tell you about the Mexico experience first. I mean, a lot of you guys have probably seen my videos where I went down to Mexico those 2 times and got my teeth done. So it's just to give you an update. So the first trip, when was it? Okay, we're in 2020. Last time I was in Mexico was in 2018. Like, time flies. Sorry, you guys. Like, I don't even remember. I think it was 2018. Yeah, it was already 2 years ago. And I got some work done that time. In 2017 was the first time. So I'll tell you about what happened in 2017. That time I went to see the less expensive of the 2 dentists. This was Dr. Alcocer in Playa del Carmen. And I got 3 teeth done with inlays. I could have had more teeth done, but it's not recommended because if you do teeth in more than one place in your mouth at the same time, there's a good chance you're not going to have a good bite adjustment after. And I guess it's easier to adjust if it's just on one side. So we did 3 teeth up here. These, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. No, wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And they're still good 2 years later. So Dr. Alcocer's office was very no frills. He was a really nice dentist, knowledgeable, had a lot of experience. He didn't speak English, but that's okay. I do speak Spanish. Surprise. And he did a good job. There was only a couple issues. One, he really scooped out all the inner part of my tooth. Not to the point of hitting the root or anything, but he didn't just take off a tiny little millimeter or 2. He really like did this kind of a shape. I've seen the x-rays after and like it's filled like that. So the thing with that was that it was pretty close to the nerves, I guess. And afterwards I did have some pain. I did have to take Advil and naproxen for a few days. And at the time that was okay. My teeth survived. I didn't lose any teeth. It's been 3 years. I haven't had any redecay. I haven't had any issues with those teeth so far. Except actually when he did the fillings, the bite really wasn't perfect. So when I came back to Montreal, I did have to have it adjusted, which to me wasn't like a really big deal, you know. And there was a third issue, which was I still, if I bite hard on this side, I'll have some pain. It was worse before I had the bite adjusted. I later found out why. That the glue, like the cement that he used to put the teeth in, that can sometimes have some little air bubbles. And so if you get an air bubble, then when you bite down, I guess it puts pressure inside your tooth and it causes the pain. It's really small pain, but I wouldn't want to bite hard on something like a nut on the side because it would probably hurt a bit, you know? So just a heads up, that's something that can happen when you get inlays. Price-wise, he was pretty cheap. Honestly, I think I paid like $250 Canadian per tooth, something like that. It was really not that much. So I paid about $700 for my 3 teeth, and they're still good. So hey, in Montreal it would have been like $4,500. Oh yeah, there was one other thing. When I went to see Dr. Alcocer, and I'm not blaming him for this at all, he also recommended that I get a bite guard. It's like this clear thing that you put in your mouth at night, and it holds your teeth in place so they don't shift around over time. The night guard. I've never heard of anybody having this kind of problem like what I'm about to tell you, but I was the lucky one who had it. One night I bit down really hard while wearing it and I cracked a tooth. I cracked this back tooth here. It was not one of them that Dr. Alcocer had done anything to. It was just my back tooth with an old silver filling, and it cracked. But yeah, basically I have a cracked tooth now because of the night guard, but that's not his fault. It could have happened with any night guard. Just a heads up, that can happen. Okay, so the next year, I went to a different dentist. I went to see Dr. Cesar Casas at Playa Dentist. This is like the place where all the expats go. It's a nicer looking, like fancier modern clinic. The price is a little higher. It was $350 per tooth instead of $250. Still a lot cheaper than Montreal. And I had a really great experience with them on the whole. I mean, the way he did the fillings, it was so gentle and it was just so well done that I didn't even need anesthetic for a lot of what he did. They actually could take out my old filling and later replace it without me even needing freezing. So I thought that was pretty good because I hate freezing, you know. Well, what happened, the problems I did have with that dentist, or what happened with my teeth, one of the fillings that he put in cracked, like almost right away, because it's like a kind of porcelain, and he did not do what Dr. Alcocer did. He didn't take out like a big chunk of my tooth. He just took off the minimum, which was what I wanted. I didn't really want to lose a ton of my tooth, so because I had like fillings on the sides of the tooth, and he said I can't just fill the side, I have to bridge it across the top. So he filed down a bit on the top so he could put the inlay like this. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't take off a lot of the tooth, but what happened was that little thin layer, it cracked. The good news was he fixed it really promptly. The bad news is it cracked again, like after I got home. I have a little crack over here in one of those. You understand, that's because of the kind of inlay that was done, and because not a lot of tooth was removed, the inlay was very thin. So heads up, if it's very thin, it can crack. So there's a little crack in this one. The other one is fine, 100%. On this side, I had a big inlay done. Like, he took out a lot of metal, put a big inlay in. I have a weird thing happening with this tooth. There's a hole in it. Not the tooth, there's a hole in the inlay. I'm just telling you the truth, you know. I'm not trying to make Dr. Casas, you know, sound bad or nothing. I don't know what happened. I may have like cracked that thin layer that's bridging the outer parts. I cracked it maybe in such a way that it made an actual hole. I don't know, but I've got a little round hole right in the middle of the inlay, which is ceramic, so it can't be a cavity. So I'll have to wait till I can get somebody to look at it, which I can't do right now because we're still like at the end of the lockdown. All the dentists are closed. But I will go have it checked out when I can. So anyway, that's what happened. So it's been 2-3 years for those teeth, and so far, no problem. Oh, there was one other thing. There was one other thing, which was that when Dr. Casas did the inlays, he used a self-adhesive cement. I'm not sure. A self-etching cement. That's what they call it. So they don't have to put acid and then the glue, which is what Dr. Alcocer did. That's the normal way to do it. This is a more advanced technique where it has the etching already in the paste. So the huge benefit of that was I didn't have pain after. I didn't even have to take an Advil. So that was a big advantage to the self-etching cement, which I really appreciated. Oh, and at Playa Dentist with Dr. Casas, where they used the self-etching cement, I did not get any air bubbles with that. I'm not sure if that cement is less likely to get you air bubbles, but in any case, I didn't have any. So it's been 2 years for these, 3 years for those. I wouldn't say I have any major problems. I just have a small crack here and like a little hole there. But my teeth themselves are still okay. Okay, so here's the other thing that I wanted to give you an update on, which is the oil pulling. I had used it starting before I got my teeth originally fixed because I was waiting to sort this thing out, and I did have tooth pain. And what I was using was coconut oil with essential oils, but actually the ones I was using back then I were different than what I'm using now. I was using mint and oregano and a little bit of clove, which helps the pain. Now I hope YouTube doesn't hate me for saying this. I mean, I don't think it's so like far out there. Is that too much for YouTube for me to say that I used oils with coconut oil to take care of my teeth? I hope not. But the oil pulling is a way to clean the teeth. Like, it gets in everywhere and it takes all the gunk out from your gums and in between your teeth and everything. So it's basically like a tooth cleaning technique from India. But with my essential oils, which adds to the cleaning, I found it was also pain relieving. That's the truth. So I've done this sort of on and off to clean my teeth, sometimes more faithfully than at other times. But recently, this tooth that I have here, the cracked one, it's been cracked for like 2 years at least. And it does act up sometimes. Like if I eat candy, which I don't do very often, it can start hurting. I got into this like Asian candy called Pu Chow, banana flavor. You know, I got addicted to banana Pu Chow, and it started hurting. So it's not hurting now. But I want to tell you what I did. So I just take like a spoon, few actually, like 2, 3, whatever, 4 spoons. I just put them in a cup, my coconut oil cup. And then I just add some of these oils. And these are the ones that I'm using now. I'm using holy basil. This has been used in dentistry. And I really actually like this one. I find this is the one that I prefer, like if I have a tooth pain. Because I can't go to the dentist. There's really nothing I can do right now. The only thing I could do if I went to the dentist here is get my tooth pulled. If I go to Mexico, maybe I could do something else, but I can't go to Mexico right now. So it's basically just me and my home remedies. You know what I'm saying? So I like this holy basil. And I'll put, let's see, if I put like 4 teaspoons, I might put 2 drops per teaspoon. So like 8 drops of this. And this is the other one that I got in Mexico. It's Oreganum compactum. So it's a kind of oregano oil, but it's a different one. And I really like this one. I found it helpful also. And this one's very strong, so I would put like 1 drop per teaspoon, and this one 2 drops, and I put both of them. I haven't been using clove, but if my teeth were really hurting, I would put some clove in there. So I just make the mix in here, and I leave it in the bathroom, and then when I want some, I'll just take it like that, and I'll take like a half a teaspoon or maybe a whole teaspoon, and I'll swish it around in my mouth like that. It's supposed to be for 10 or 20 minutes, but sometimes I'm pretty ADD and I'll do it for like 5, but you do what you can. I've had really like bad pain here, especially at night. It's like always at night when your teeth start hurting, and I've gotten desperate sometimes, and I've used this and it really did go down. And also I have used this as a mouthwash or put some of the holy basil on my toothbrush. This holy basil contains eugenol, which is the same thing that is in the clove oil, which is known to help with pain in your teeth. So I mean, that's what I do. I take these 2 and I put in the coconut oil and I swish it around. It really works. Or sometimes I'll take this and just put it on my toothbrush, but like diluted with some coconut oil. You know, the surprising thing is this, I've managed to keep this going for quite some time. Like during this lockdown, I started having tooth pain here, and I really didn't know if this was going to work. But it did. So I figure something's happening. And I mean, I know this isn't a permanent solution, and you have to take tooth issues very seriously because they can get really infected and bad things can happen, as many Egyptians found out. Lots of Egyptian mummies, you know, they died of tooth decay. So you have to take it seriously. It's not something to be cavalier about. But in the meantime, while I can't do anything else, this is what I've been doing. And I would say it definitely works for a tooth pain. So that's it. I just wanted to give you the update of what I've been doing and how it turned out. I haven't lost any teeth yet. Well, except for the cracked one, but that's, you know. And actually, on a side note, the root canal crown that I had done on this side here in Montreal fell off twice. The second time she wouldn't put it back on because she said, oh, what if your jaw gets in, what if you're infected underneath, you know, like something, I don't know. She was nervous about putting my crown back on. She didn't put it on and it got lost. So now I have to start all over at zero, redo the whole thing, probably do it in Mexico. So the only problems I've had with my teeth are basically the teeth that I've done here in Montreal. So I would still recommend going to Mexico. And I personally still do the oil pulling and I find it helpful. So that's it. I hope this is useful to you. Let me know what you think. If you've had any experiences with oil pulling or dentistry in Mexico. Thanks for joining me in the chat. Don't forget to check out the link below. And God bless you guys. Thanks for listening to me. And I'll see you next time.